The anime follows the story of Takumi Irma, ordinary office worker living an ordinary life. He is suddenly summoned to the magical world of Midgard. He must now begin his new life there and confront challenges from the neighboring kingdoms. His magic skills are viewed with suspicion by nearby kingdoms, as they believe using such powers goes against the church. Stay tuned till the end to see how he overcomes these obstacles. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel. Takumi Irma is just an ordinary office worker in his 40s. His life is predictable. His days follow a simple pattern. Wake up, work, home, repeat. Takumi finds comfort in things staying the same. But Takumi's quiet, predictable life stops suddenly. One moment, everything is normal. The next, he finds himself surrounded by a bright light. When he can see again, he finds himself somewhere totally new and strange. A beautiful woman stands before him. She says her name is Lady Nolan, a goddess in this world called Midgard. She explains that Takumi was accidentally caught by a dangerous magic spell meant to summon heroes from other worlds. Takumi learns he wasn't supposed to be summoned at all. The spell was cast in the Holy Sidonia Empire. Lady Nolan noticed it was not working correctly. She managed to help the intended heroes reach their destination, but Takumi was accidentally pulled along too. When Takumi asks to be sent home, Lady Nolan admits she cannot do that. She blocked the spell so it could never be used again, meaning Takumi is stuck in Midgard forever. Even worse, his original body no longer exists. Despite Takumi's shock, Lady Nolan offers a solution. She suggests he start a new life in this world. She decides not to send him to the Holy Sidonia Empire, fearing they might treat him poorly for not being an intended hero. Instead, she'll send him to a different nation with her special blessing. She transforms him into a 17-year-old boy and grants him many useful skills. Before Takumi can ask more questions, Lady Nolan sends him on his way to the continent of Asgard. Takumi wakes up in a forest, still stunned by what happened. He looks at his reflection in the water and sees his new younger face. He decides to accept his fate and check what skills Lady Nolan gave him. He discovers he has unique skills like Appraise X and Item Box X, along with magic abilities and crafting skills. He can view all these skills on a screen that appears before him whenever he wishes, much like a game interface. He smartly hides some of his more special skills and tries testing his magic. He successfully casts water, wind, and earth magic spells. As he explores, Takumi finds valuable materials in the forest. He uses his Appraise skill to identify Trant wood, which is great for making magical items. He creates a spear from it and gains a new woodworking skill. He also finds many useful herbs for making potions and medicines. When he gathers too many items to carry, he remembers his item box skill, which lets him store unlimited items in a magical space. Suddenly, Takumi hears someone crying for help. He finds a young girl being chased by a giant horned rabbit. Using his new spear, he defeats the monster and saves the girl. He checks his status and discovers he has been assigned the warrior job, although he didn't want a combat role. The grateful girl introduces herself as Molly from Board Village. Takumi asks if he can go with her, as he needs a place to stay. Meanwhile, in the castle of the Holy Sidonia Empire, some people are shocked and wondering where they are. Suddenly, they notice a girl dressed in black. They ask her where they are, and she explains that they are in another world and have been brought here as heroes to save this world. The girl introduces herself as Elizabeth, the first empress of the Holy Sidonia Empire. On the other side, Takumi and Molly arrive at Board Village. Molly's parents, Banga and Martha, thank Takumi for saving their daughter. They welcome him warmly when he asks to stay in the village. Banga mentions the area is rich with ingredients for medicines, and a blacksmith named Boban tells Takumi about nearby ore deposits. The villagers decide to build Takumi his own house. During construction, Takumi surprises everyone by using earth magic to level the ground, though it uses up most of his magical energy. In his new home, Takumi examines his status and finds he can change his job. He sees several options and picks Alchemist, which suits his plan for a peaceful life making things rather than fighting. He goes mining with Boban and collects iron, silver, copper, and special magic iron ore. Using his new alchemy skills and earth magic, Takumi extracts pure metal from the ore. He makes his first iron ingot and feels proud, though the process drains his magical power. Takumi becomes so focused on his alchemy work that he sometimes passes out from mana exhaustion. Martha scolds him for pushing himself too hard. Using his skills, he creates various metal tools and items. He also helps Boban forge a beautiful sword. He notices that his blacksmith level has risen to 40, even though he's trying to focus on being an alchemist. Next, Takumi experiments with making potions using herbs he collected. He crushes herbs and mixes them with water conjured using water magic. The mixture changes color, and he feels magical energy in it. Excited by his success, he wants to learn more potion recipes. To improve his magic resistance and healing abilities, Takumi subjects himself to grueling training with poisons. He repeatedly poisons himself and then uses light magic to heal. This painful method proves effective. He gains poison and paralysis resistance skills along with purification magic. While gathering materials in the forest, Takumi encounters a dangerous, huge armored boar. His magic attacks fail to harm the monster at all. Just as the situation begins to look dire, a poisoned spider attacks the boar, seemingly trying to help Takumi. However, the spider gets injured, and Takumi remains in grave danger. In a desperate move, he uses his alchemy to decompose part of the boar, killing it instantly. After the battle, Takumi uses his magic to heal the injured spider. He realized the spider had tried to help, so he thanked it. Suddenly, he gains the taming skill and forms a bond with the spider. Though surprised that he can tame an insect monster, he names it Maple due to the leaf-like pattern on its back. Maple speaks in simple words and agrees to follow Takumi. Soon afterward, Maple evolves into a rare killer spider, becoming stronger and more intelligent. Banga and some villagers find Takumi with the defeated boar and are amazed that he managed to tame a spider, a feat thought to be impossible. They decide to feast on the boar meat together. Later, Banga gives Takumi materials harvested from the boar and suggests that he could sell them in Bolton, the nearest city. Somewhere, Lady Nolan is watching over Takumi. Another girl questions her motives, pointing out that she not only gave Takumi a special body and blessing, but also sent him 1 year into the past, before the Holy Sidonia Empire activated their summoning spell. Lady Nolan claims there's no special reason for this, but it seems she may have plans for Takumi. The next day, Takumi Irma wakes up to find himself covered in spider silk, a prank pulled by his tamed killer spider Maple. Maple admits that she did it because she felt lonely while Takumi was busy focusing on his potion-making work. Feeling guilty, Takumi promises to take the day off and spend time playing with her. Their moment is interrupted when Molly arrives with lunch and is surprised by the scene, though Takumi assures her Maple wasn't trying to harm him. Molly is amazed by the high-quality spider silk Maple produced. Martha, Molly's mother, is equally thrilled with the silk. She explains that spider silk is a luxury material usually bought up quickly by nobles. The villagers, especially Martha and Molly, become quite fond of Maple. Martha requests specific adjustments to the silk's elasticity, which Maple surprisingly fulfills, impressing everyone. While Maple enjoys the attention and aids the villagers, Takumi gets some free time. Takumi looks back on his time in Board Village with gratitude for the warmth and generosity he received. However, he realizes he needs to move to a larger town like Bolton to learn more and improve his craft. He feels uneasy about how to share his decision with the villagers. However, the blacksmith Boban and Molly's father, Banga, have already figured out his intentions. They understand that a city offers better opportunities for someone with Takumi's production skills, providing more demand and easier access to materials. They've even been working on armor and boots for him, reinforcing them for better protection. This reminds Takumi that even producers need to defend themselves when gathering materials in dangerous forests. Banga shares that he has already made arrangements. A trader named Papek from Bolton is set to visit the village next week, and Banga has arranged for Takumi to travel alongside him. Takumi feels profoundly moved by their kindness and support. Before leaving, Takumi wants to repay the villagers for their kindness. He helps Martha clean rabbit innards, which are usually discarded due to potential diseases. Using his purification magic, a form of rare light magic, he makes the meat safe to eat. Martha thanks him, but warns him to be cautious about using light magic openly outside the village. She explains that it is very rare and could attract unwanted attention, especially from organizations like the Church of the Divine Light, which often exploit individuals with such abilities. In the week before he leaves, Takumi works hard to make Board Village better. He uses his earth magic to strengthen defenses and make life more convenient for the residents, wanting to leave them as safe and comfortable as possible. He also brews a large batch of 100 basic healing potions as a parting gift for the village. He gives one to Banga and asks him to distribute the rest. When the trader Papek arrives, Banga introduces him to Takumi. Papek, who runs a trading company in Bolton, readily agrees to take Takumi along. Papek examines one of Takumi's potions and seems impressed by its quality. The time comes for Takumi to leave. The villagers gather to say goodbye. Maple is asleep in Takumi's bag, missing the farewell. The villagers present Takumi with a parting gift, clothes made together from maple silk, featuring a pattern designed by Molly. Takumi feels touched by their kindness and promises to cherish the gift. He expresses his heartfelt gratitude for everything they've done for him during his short stay. As the carriage pulls away, the villagers wave goodbye, urging him to visit any time and assuring him his house will be kept waiting. Takumi looks back fondly. He considers Board Village his first true home in the world of Midgard. On the journey to Bolton, Takumi travels with Papek and his bodyguards, a rank C adventuring party called Lionfang consisting of Heath, Riel, and the Quiet Bogar. They are touched by Takumi's emotional farewell from the villagers. Takumi introduces himself and Maple, who is a killer spider surprising the adventurers. Riel tries to wake Maple playfully but gets bitten for her trouble. Maple takes an immediate liking to the calm Bogar, but dislikes the energetic Riel and remains neutral towards Heath. Papek expresses interest in buying Takumi's potions if he has any more in stock. Takumi agrees, though he hasn't decided on a price yet. Their relatively peaceful journey is interrupted by a goblin attack. About 20 goblins emerge from the forest. Papek appears nervous despite claiming such encounters are normal for traders. Lionfang springs into action. Bogar uses magic to draw the goblins out, while Heath and Riel efficiently defeat them. Takumi stays back as instructed. After the fight, the adventurers quickly collect the magic stones from the defeated goblins. Maple observes, commenting that Bogar is cool but still disliking Riel. The rest of the 3-day journey to Bolton proceeds without further trouble. Upon arriving in Bolton, Takumi is impressed by the sights and sounds of his first large city in this new world. He accompanies Lionfang to the Adventurers Guild, where they need to report the completion of their escort quest. Takumi also needs to register. He learns from the receptionist Hans that there is no Alchemist Guild in Bolton. Many producers register with the Adventurers Guild simply to use the guild card as official identification. Hans advises that Takumi can maintain his membership by completing one simple quest per month, allowing him to keep the lowest rank. Takumi decides to register with the Adventurers Guild and also officially registers Maple as his tamed monster companion. Later, Takumi meets Papek at his company office to finalize the potion deal. Takumi reveals he has about 100 each of healing, stamina, and mana potions. Papek offers 10 silver coins for each healing and stamina potion, and 50 silver coins for each mana potion. Takumi, remembering the currency conversion chart provided by the goddess Nolan, calculates this amount to a huge sum, equivalent to millions of yen. Papek explains this price is actually a bit low because Takumi is new and hasn't established a reputation yet. Takumi feels the deal might be too good to be true and briefly wonders about Papek's motives, but ultimately trusts the trader's seemingly honest nature. Papek then brings up the topic of accommodation. He advises Takumi that as a producer planning to set up shop, a house with a dedicated workshop would be ideal. Takumi initially panics, thinking he can't afford to buy a home right after arriving. Papek clarifies he can help find a suitable rental property. Papek's employee Thomas shows Takumi a large house, practically a mansion available for rent. Takumi is suspicious of the incredibly low rent, only 1 gold and 50 silver per month, wondering if the property is haunted or has hidden problems. Thomas assures him it's a highly recommended property with no issues. Seeing that the storehouse could be used as a workshop and the rent is cheap thanks to his potion money, Takumi decides to take it with Maple happily agreeing. Arrangements are made for him to move in the next day. While exploring Bolton, Takumi notices an unpleasant smell lingering in the city air. Thomas explains it's the smell of sewage. While nobles use expensive magical purifying devices found in ruins or dungeons for their mansions, the city's general sewer system lacks such technology. Priests are occasionally hired for purification, but it's not a constant solution. This information sparks an idea in Takumi's mind. The next day, Takumi and Maple move into their new mansion home. Although the exterior needs repairs, Takumi prioritizes setting up his workshop and tackling the sanitation issue he observed. Using clay and quartz purchased from Papek, Takumi combines his knowledge from his old world with his new magical abilities. He uses earth magic to shape the materials, fire magic controlled with alchemy to bake them, and space-time magic to speed up the drying and baking process. He carefully adjusts temperatures and stabilizes the final product with alchemy. The intense process consumes a lot of his mana but successfully levels up his alchemist job, light magic skill, and alchemy skill. The result is a modern-looking ceramic toilet. Takumi feels a sense of accomplishment, glad to have this familiar comfort even in a new world. Papek visits Takumi at his new home. Maple playfully wraps Papek in silk, which surprisingly makes the trader feel calm instead of scared. After recovering, Papek asks to use the bathroom. He returns moments later, completely astonished. He demands to know what the fixture is. Takumi explains it's a toilet equipped with a magical device he created. This device uses purification magic, part of his light magic aptitude, to break down waste into clean water and harmless inorganic material, effectively solving the sewage smell problem locally. Papek is stunned by Takumi's invention and his use of light magic. Recalling Martha's warning, Takumi asks Papek to keep his light magic ability confidential. Papek agrees, understanding the potential danger from the Church of the Divine Light. Immediately seeing the business potential, Papek excitedly asks Takumi to produce 100 more toilets. Takumi agrees, provided Papek can supply supply the necessary materials. Papek realizes Takumi will need assistance to manage such a large order and run the mansion, especially while keeping his identity and rare magic secret. Papek strongly suggests Takumi acquire slaves bound by contract magic, arguing they would be loyal, discreet, and capable of protecting him and managing the household. Takumi is immediately resistant to the idea of owning slaves, finding the concept morally wrong. He insists he would rather do everything himself than resort to slavery. However, just then, a notification arrives via his guild card, a reminder from the Adventurers Guild that he must complete a quest appropriate to his rank within 1 month of registering. Facing his responsibilities and the big toilet order, Takumi realizes he can't handle everything on his own. Seeing Takumi struggle, Papek asks if he has some free time and takes him to the Mulan Company, known as the most trusted slave trader in Bolton. While Takumi waits nervously in the company's surprisingly pretty garden, wondering what will happen next, a voice suddenly tells him to go home. After a while, Takumi meets another woman named Mulan, the owner of the company. Papek introduces Takumi and explains that he is looking for a slave, but feels uncertain about it since slavery wasn't practiced where he came from. Mulan patiently explains the system of slave contracts in the kingdom of Barkula. She assures Takumi that slaves have protected rights. Owners must provide food, clothing, and a place to live and honor the slave's basic rights. Importantly, neither the owner nor the slave can cause serious harm to the other. Owners also cannot force slaves to do things not agreed upon in the contract, and slaves must keep their owner's information secret. Mulan describes common reasons people become slaves: repaying debts, criminals seeking a way to reform, prisoners captured in war, or those illegally captured by bandits. Papek suggests that a war slave might be best for Takumi. War slaves usually cannot be freed unless their master allows it, which would ensure long-term secrecy for Takumi's special abilities. Mulan asks Takumi what he needs. He explains he is a producer and wants to focus on his work, but also needs help managing the large mansion he rents. He needs someone for housework and daily chores. He also mentions needing someone trustworthy because he has secret skills that might attract trouble. Furthermore, he plans to gather materials in dangerous places and needs protection and someone who can fight alongside him and Maple. Mulan thinks Takumi needs help from 2 people, one to take care of the house and one to help in fights and keep him safe. She first introduces Maria, a young woman who was kidnapped by bandits long ago and has no family. Maria has been trained by the Mulan Company in reading, writing, math, and general housekeeping. Takumi describes his mansion's layout and asks if she can manage it alone. Maria confidently says she can. Takumi wonders aloud why someone like her hasn't been chosen yet. Maria misunderstands, thinking he's asking about sexual services, and quickly insists she only does housekeeping and cannot sleep with him. Takumi gets embarrassed and tells her that cleaning and housework is all he needs. After they clear up the mix-up, both Takumi and Maria happily agree to the deal. As Maria leaves to prepare, Papek asks Mulan about another potential slave named Sophia. Mulan seems unsure and says Sophia has some problems, but Takumi feels a strong feeling in his gut telling him to go after this, especially after seeing Maria's hopeful look when Sophia's name came up. He insists on meeting her. Mulan explains Sophia's difficult situation. She is an elf captured 50 years ago during a war between humans and elves. She has a noticeable scar on her left ear and her right hand and left leg, though she can manage daily life. Most importantly, her strong elf magic has been locked away by a curse. Mulan thinks these problems are big disadvantages for anyone looking for a fighter. Despite Mulan's warnings, Takumi asks to speak with Sophia. Sophia is brought out and quickly tells Takumi to go away, saying she is useless and can't fight. As she tries to leave, Takumi uses his Appraise X skill to check her status secretly. He is shocked to see her high levels in jobs like Sprite Mage and Knight, along with many combat skills. The notes say her injuries make her weaker, and the curse stops her from using mana. Takumi realizes that if he can heal her and break the curse, Sophia would be a very strong ally. Feeling sure he can help her, Takumi tells Mulan that he wants to make a deal with Sophia. He mentions he is close to reaching the necessary skill level to potentially heal her. Sophia is shocked, and Mulan is surprised by Takumi's claim that he can fix problems that have plagued Sophia for half a century. Curious, Mulan agrees to let Takumi take care of Sophia. Takumi makes sure to ask Sophia if she truly objects, but Mulan reminds him a slave's opinion isn't usually asked for. As they proceed, Maria expresses immense gratitude to Takumi for choosing Sophia as well. Mulan performs the magical contract ceremony, binding both Maria and Sophia to Takumi. Takumi brings his new companions back to the mansion. As they enter, Later, Maple jumps out to greet Takumi, startling Maria and Sophia. Sophia immediately recognizes Maple as a dangerous killer spider. Takumi quickly explains Maple is his pet and introduces her to Maria and Sophia, who will now be living with them. He shows them to their own private bedrooms, a luxury that surprises them both. He also tells them they can use the large bath whenever they like, explaining it has a magical device that constantly keeps the water clean. Later, while bathing together, Maria expresses her happiness about their new life. Sophia remains thoughtful. She tells Maria that she heard Mulan talking about Takumi's contract and saw that a lot of his personal details, like his birthplace and family history, were missing. Sophia suspects Takumi has special circumstances or secrets that could bring trouble. At dinner time, Takumi presents a meal he cooked himself. Maria becomes upset, feeling she has failed her duty since cooking and cleaning are her jobs. Takumi reassures her it's only for the first day, and she can take over cooking duties starting tomorrow. He invites both Maria and Sophia to eat dinner with him at the main table. Sophia thinks this is strange because slaves usually eat separately from their master. Takumi explains he doesn't like strict formality and wants them to feel comfortable, hoping they will go along with it. He also requests they call him by his name Takumi instead of master, as he's not used to the title. Maria quickly agrees, calling him Mr. Takumi, while Sophia seems unsure but goes along with it. The next day, Takumi goes to Papek's company to pick up an order, and it's wrapped in strong magical paper for security. On his way back, he notices a church nearby and decides to go inside. He offers a prayer to Lady Nolan, the goddess who brought him to this world. Suddenly, Lady Nolan appears in front of him. She explains she appeared because he prayed to her. Takumi asks why she said something bad about the Holy Empire of Sidonia, since they control the religion in this country. Nolan clarifies that she's the goddess of the Church of Creation, the original religion. The Church of Divine Light, followed by Sidonia, worships a god that doesn't actually exist and was created much later. Sidonia forcefully spread their religion and opposed the Church of Creation, but Nolan chose not to interfere in human affairs. This lack of interference, she admits, allowed Sidonia to perform the dangerous hero summoning spell that accidentally pulled Takumi into this world. Nolan then delivers important news. The special blessing she gave Takumi as an apology worked like a beginner's guide, helping him meet kind people like the villagers and Papek and making his first steps easier. However, she warns that this phase is ending. From now on, he will face more realistic challenges, encounter difficulties that were previously smoothed over, and potentially meet people with bad intentions. His future success and survival now depend entirely on his own choices and efforts. Now the scene changes to the Holy Empire of Sidonia, 1 year ahead of Takumi's current time. Officials are discussing the progress of the 3 heroes summoned from another world, Akira, Yamato, and Akane. At first they were confused, but a woman named Lady Elizabeth convinced them to help Sidonia. The heroes are doing hard training. Yamato seems determined but struggles, while Akane dislikes fighting. Akira acts protective towards Akane, and Lady Elizabeth encourages them, calling their training necessary strength to save the world. Back in Takumi's present time, he returns to the mansion with the mysterious package from Papek. Sophia notices the magical wrapping. Takumi takes the package and retreats to his workshop, telling Maria, Sophia, and Maple to have dinner without him. Inside the workshop, Takumi opens the package and finds bottles of liquid made from very poisonous nenem herbs. He deliberately wounds himself and applies the poison, then uses his heal and cure magic repeatedly. He explains to himself that this dangerous method is necessary to quickly level up his light magic skill. He briefly complains that Maria had thrown away some harmless medicinal herbs earlier, thinking they were trash. Hearing the noise, Sophia walks into the workshop. She sees Takumi wounded, surrounded by poison bottles, and muttering about Maria being cruel. Sophia misunderstands the situation completely. Thinking Takumi is hurting himself because of Maria, or might even hurt Maria, Sophia gets very upset and tries to protect her. The sudden stress triggers her curse, making her collapse from exhaustion. Takumi quickly checks her status and sees she's exhausted, and has a small wound on her hand from her stress. He tries healing the wound, noting the curse makes even minor healing difficult. However, successfully healing the hand injury gives his light magic the final push it needed, leveling it up. With his light magic stronger now, Takumi quickly casts a spell on Sophia, breaking the curse that had trapped her for 50 years. He then uses extra heal to fix her physical injuries and cure her exhaustion. Sophia wakes up feeling light and healthy, but confused about what happened. Maria rushes in and joyfully explains that Mr. Takumi carried her to her room and healed her. Still misunderstanding Takumi's intentions, Sophia tells Maria to run away. Maria corrects her, excitedly saying Takumi is an even better person than she imagined. Sophia then touches her left ear, realizing the scar is gone, and feels her connection to magic returning. Takumi gently explains that he needed to level up his light magic through dangerous training with nenem poison. He also explains how Maria accidentally throwing out the herbs was the cruel thing he mentioned, and how healing Sophia's exhaustion was the final step in breaking her curse and fully healing her. Overwhelmed by his actions and the restoration of her health and magic after 50 years of suffering, Sophia kneels before Takumi. She formally swears her lifelong loyalty to him. Takumi accepts her oath, welcoming her properly. Takumi Irma visits the library to research alchemy in Bolton's library. He's surprised to find only 4 books on the subject despite the library's size. He quickly realizes why alchemy isn't more widespread. The texts are written in the language of an ancient magic civilization. Thanks to the blessing given to him by the goddess Lady Nolan, Takumi can understand all languages in this world, making the complex subject seem simple to him. As he leaves the library, Maria playfully teases him about the previous day's events, specifically Sophia's dramatic oath of loyalty. Back at the mansion's workshop, Takumi puts the finishing touches on the large order of 100 magical toilets Papek had requested. Maria assists him, and Takumi expresses relief that the mass production task is finally over. He shares his future plans with Maria. He wants to keep making items, but also have the freedom to travel around Midgard. He imagines traveling to explore new places, find rare materials and local foods, visit ruins, and enjoy his new life. He decides to take Sophia as his bodyguard and Maple as his pet. Hearing this, Maria feels left out. She worries about being useless and alone in the big mansion. To show how hopeless she feels, she uses her usual toilet metaphors, comparing her loneliness to a toilet left in a burning desert. Takumi, though initially hesitant because of the dangers of travel and needing someone to manage the house, feels sorry for Maria's request and worries about leaving her all alone. Using his appraisal X skill, he takes a quick look at Maria's status. He is genuinely surprised to discover she possesses significant hidden potential beyond simple housekeeping. Her job levels include maid LV20 and thief LV20 with underlying levels in warrior and chef, and she possesses skills like short swordsmanship, martial arts, stealth, and even some basic magic. She's essentially a capable battle maid. Seeing her potential and moved by her desire to stay with the group, Takumi agrees she can join their travels. Sophia supports this decision, confidently offering to train Maria in combat and magic. Takumi decides they all need proper equipment for their adventures and asks Sophia and Maria what weapons they prefer. Sophia, showing her extensive combat experience, requests a longsword, a long spear, a longbow for ranged attacks, and several knives, plus a small buckler shield. Maria, who was only trained with short blades at the Mulan Company, first suggests short swords or knives. Sophia points out that this wouldn't be strong enough against monsters, and offers to teach her how to use a spear, which Maria eagerly agrees to. Takumi heads back to his workshop, determined to craft the best possible gear for his companions. He uses high-quality magical steel ingots, knowing that simple hardness isn't enough for weapons in this world. While Maria starts her combat training with Sophia in the garden, Takumi focuses on forging. He makes powerful spears, decorating Sophia's with wing patterns and Maria's with flame patterns using his metalworking skills. He expertly applies enhance attack and auto repair enchantments to the weapons. He also crafts knives for Maria, indulging his fantasy by designing concealable thigh knives suitable for a battle maid. This intense crafting process requires significant mana, but also serves as training, leveling up Takumi's alchemy, blacksmithing, and metalworking skills. Next, Takumi works on the armor. He knows he needs their measurements, but feels too awkward to ask, so he uses his appraisal X skill to make perfect dolls of Sophia and Maria as mannequins. Maple gives him high-quality spider silk, and Takumi mixes it with tough materials from the huge armored boar he defeated. He designs the armor, making sure it's both useful and looks good, though he admits he adds his own personal touch. Several days later, Takumi presents the finished weapons and armor sets. Sophia and Maria are amazed. The armor fits perfectly, feeling as if it molded to their bodies the moment they put it on, offering excellent protection without restricting movement. The weapons feel perfectly balanced in their hands, the enchantments clearly working. Takumi, happy with his work and their reactions, also gives them mithril magical rings he made. The rings are enchanted to greatly increase their magic power, control, and mana manipulation, making them perfect for casting spells. He admits the crafting process was demanding but worthwhile, as it helped him acquire new ice magic and lightning magic skills. Sophia and Maria express deep gratitude for the incredible gear he created for them. Fully equipped, the trio heads to the Adventurers Guild. Takumi needs to officially register Sophia and Maria as adventurers, and register the three of them, along with Maple, as a formal adventuring party. He also plans to accept quests to fulfill the guild's requirement he learned about earlier. While registering, Hans, the receptionist, reminds Takumi about the usual message for completing quests. Just as Takumi confirms he's ready to take on quests, three rough-looking ranked D adventurers approach and try to take Sophia and Maria from the Takumi, bragging about being better than him. Takumi, though scared inside, stands protectively in front of Sophia and Maria, calling them his precious friends. One of the adventurers, Debul, throws a punch at Takumi. Takumi had expected trouble though. Using his item box and alchemy skills quickly, he secretly coated his upper body with diamond made from charcoal. Debul cries out in pain as his fist impacts the super hard diamond layer, breaking his hand. The commotion draws the attention of the guild master, Barak, a large, imposing man. Sophia quickly explains that the adventurers started the fight and Takumi was just defending himself. Barak senses faint traces of mana and asks Takumi about it. Takumi explains his diamond coating alchemy trick. Impressed by Takumi's unique skills and protective stance, Barak and Hans choose to handle the situation calmly. To prevent future harassment from lower-ranked adventurers, they offer to promote Takumi immediately. Since Sophia and Maria just registered, Hans suggests giving the party specific quests to help all three members rank up quickly and show their skills. Seeing it as a good opportunity, Takumi agrees, and Sophia and Maria are eager to improve their skills and become more helpful. Hans provides them with 3 quests suitable for beginners, but good for gaining experience, exterminating goblins, exterminating kobolds, and gathering marrow herbs in a nearby forest. Out in the field, the party works efficiently. Sophia uses her scouting skills and sprite magic to locate enemies, while Takumi and Maria coordinate attacks. They quickly dispatch numerous goblins and kobolds, easily exceeding the quest requirements. Sophia notices there are many monsters around, which means a medium-sized camp is nearby. She thinks it is probably led by a strong goblin general, a rank C monster that needs several rank D parties to defeat. Despite the danger, Sophia, now confident in her restored abilities and eager to prove herself, suggests a bold plan. They should attack the encampment themselves. She suggests using magic together, her sprite magic, Takumi's elemental magic, and Maria's earth magic to take out many enemies before fighting the leaders. Maria is surprisingly enthusiastic about the prospect of pest extermination. Just as they prepare, Maple suddenly announces she is about to evolve. Understanding the need for safety during evolution, Takumi quickly places her inside his pocket dimension, a personal space he created using his level 3 space-time magic, to rest and undergo her transformation securely. Relying on their own skills, the trio finds the goblin camp, spotting a large group of 300 to 400 goblins. They put Sophia's plan into action. Sophia uses Wind Sprite's tempered blades, Maria casts Rock Pile, and Takumi summons a firestorm. The combined magical assault devastates the goblin ranks. However, the leaders survive, a powerful goblin general and a goblin knight, both advanced species. Takumi bravely steps forward to engage them directly, utilizing his spear skills and newly enhanced physical abilities, gaining valuable combat experience and leveling up multiple skills in the process. Sophia and Maria provide support, showcasing their growing teamwork. They return to the Adventurers Guild later that same day, having successfully completed all 3 quests, and, astonishingly, eliminated the entire goblin encampment, bringing back proof of defeating the goblin general and knight. Hans and Barak are stunned that a party with 2 brand new members accomplished a rank C extermination task in mere hours. As they report, Maple emerges from Takumi's pocket dimension, having completed her evolution. She is transformed into an arachne, a creature with the upper body of a beautiful woman and the lower body of a large spider. Furthermore, she can now speak human language fluently. Maria is delighted by Maple's new, cuter form and her ability to talk. Recognizing their impressive achievement, Barak announces their promotions. Takumi is raised to rank E, while Sophia and Maria move up to rank F. Later, Maria approaches Takumi with a request for scrap cloth. She intends to make underwear for herself and Sophia, describing a simple, traditional loincloth-style garment made by threading pieces of cloth together. Takumi, surprised by the primitive design, sketches modern-style bras and panties from his old world. Maria is fascinated and asks him to make sets for them. Before Takumi can begin, Papek arrives at the mansion but faints instantly upon seeing the newly evolved Arachne Maple. Once revived, Papek delivers his message. The ruler of Bolton, Marquise Godwin Bolton, wishes to meet Takumi. Papek confirms that this meeting is probably about the magical toilets. He adds that the Marquise is the powerful backing he hoped would protect Takumi's invention from interference by the Holy Empire of Sidonia. Takumi, along with Sophia and Maria, meets with Marquise Godwin. The Marquise proves to be a reasonable and grateful leader. He sincerely thanks Takumi for the purification of toilets, which have significantly improved the city's sanitation and health. He also expresses gratitude for the party eliminating the goblin threat his own knights had somehow missed. He advises Takumi to prioritize his own safety acknowledging his immense value to Bolton and warning him again about the potential threat from Sidonia. The meeting with the Marquise leaves Takumi mentally exhausted. Seeking escape in his work, he focuses entirely on making the underwear Maria requested, locking himself in his workshop for 3 days straight. He finally emerges, completely exhausted but holding beautifully designed, cute sets of bras and panties. Maria and Sophia are thrilled with the beautiful results. Playfully, they offer to try them on immediately if it would make Takumi happy. This suggestion sends Takumi into a spiral of embarrassment. He strongly refuses, becoming extremely flustered. Maria and Sophia joke with him, calling him a wusses and a coward. Takumi thinks maybe Lady Nolan's support is going away because things feel awkward. But then he decides it's just how he is. After working hard for a few days, Takumi Irma is proud to show his newest invention, magical refrigerators. He made these refrigerators using stainless steel, which he created himself, and added magical devices that keep them cool all the time. Maria is super happy and excited because she can now keep her cooking ingredients fresh forever. After Maria picks a color she likes, Takumi decides to let Papek sell the leftover refrigerators. With that done, he's ready to begin his next project, upgrading the party's equipment. Thinking about their recent battle with the Goblin General, Takumi decides they need stronger weapons and armor for their upcoming journeys. Takumi's blacksmithing skills have improved, and he plans to make new gear using mithril and adamantite. These rare metals are much stronger than the magical steel they currently use. Sophia and Maria trust Takumi's judgment and agree to the plan. Takumi visits Hans at the Adventurers Guild to learn how to obtain the rare ores. Hans explains that mithril and adamantite are very hard to find, and even harder to craft with. He suggests that only blacksmiths in the dwarven kingdom of Normstall might be skilled enough to work with such rare ores. However, Hans mentions Takumi might be able to synthesize the metals using alchemy, though it would consume vast amounts of mana. A potentially faster option is mining. Hans reveals that the mining city of Horas, located northwest of their current kingdom, has a mine containing both ores. The catch is that access is restricted to members of the Blacksmiths Guild. Fortunately, there's a loophole. Adventurers can gain temporary mining access by accepting quests to eliminate monsters infesting the mine shafts. Takumi sees this as a perfect opportunity to gather materials while fulfilling his guild quest quota. Just then, Guildmaster Barak shows up with more tasks for Takumi's party. He says Bolton is running low on Trant Wood since most adventurers are busy hunting valuable black buffalo in other places. Since Trant Wood and the Forest of Death is along the path to Horus, Barak asks him to hunt some treants during his journey. Barak tells Takumi that a blacksmith named Dagambo, who needs a bodyguard and is traveling to Horus, will recommend him for the job. Takumi agrees, seeing it as another convenient task. Feeling somewhat exploited, Takumi hesitates, but Barak makes the offer better by promising promotions. If they finish all the tasks, Takumi will move to rank D, and Sophia and Maria will move to rank E. Takumi accepts the bundled quests. The discussion moves to travel time. A normal carriage takes 7 days to reach Horus, while a faster monster-drawn carriage takes only 4. Unfortunately, the guild has no monster horses available. Just in time, Riel from the Lion Fang party arrives. He has just come back from their black buffalo hunting trip to bring his kill. He says that more advanced monster species have been showing up lately. When Takumi hears that Riel is tired, he kindly invites him to stay the night at the mansion. He tells Riel to enjoy the magical bath there. Later, Takumi visits Papek to arrange transportation. Papek kindly offers him a carriage pulled by strong monster horses. In return, Papek asks for a wholesale price for some ores. He also asks Takumi to make more refrigerators when he returns, as they are in high demand. That evening, Takumi and Riel visit several blacksmiths recommended by Hans, trying to find someone experienced with mithril, but none are available or capable. As they head back to the mansion in the dark, they are suddenly attacked. Takumi feels a lot of anger and quickly tries to run away with Riel. The attacker knocks out Riel. It turns out to be Sophia. She is very protective of Takumi and doesn't know Riel. She thought he was an attacker. Before she can land the final blow, Takumi steps in, quickly explaining the situation. Sophia is shocked and feels terrible for attacking Takumi's friend. She apologizes deeply. Back at the mansion, Riel recovers and formally meets Maria and the newly evolved Arachne Maple. Riel feels sad about being single. His teammates are married, and Takumi has devoted friends around him. He playfully flirts with Sophia and Maria, but both firmly state their loyalty belongs solely to Takumi. The party makes their final plan. They will leave in 3 days. They will hunt Trance and escort Gambo. They will clear monsters in the Horus mine and gather ores. Takumi realizes he needs to make more gear, including a new sword for himself. He creates a powerful mana-draining sword that absorbs enemy mana and sharpens itself. He plans to make a similar one for Sophia. 3 days later, the party, now including Dagambo, sets off in the monster horse carriage provided by Papek. Maria skillfully controls the strong horses. Back in Bolton, bad news reaches the guild. A late report from Horas says there are a lot more monsters in the Forest of Death. Barak starts to worry about Takumi's safety. Meanwhile, Marquise Godwin discusses worrying issues with Papek. He shares the news about the magical toilets and the solved sewage problem. The news has reached the Holy Empire of Sidonia much faster than expected. Meanwhile, in the Holy Empire of Sidonia, the three heroes from another world are honing their skills in sword fighting. On the other hand, Takumi's party arrives at the Forest of Death. Takumi sets up a protective barrier around the carriage for Dagambo while he, Sophia, and Maria venture into the woods to hunt treants. Sophia teaches Takumi how to use sense magic to differentiate the disguised treants from normal trees. Takumi quickly cuts down the first one with his axe. Immediately they are surrounded by a large group of angry treants. Takumi decides not to fight them one by one. Instead, he uses windcutter magic to quickly defeat many tree monsters at once. A much larger and more dangerous elder treant suddenly appears. Sophia attacks it with sprite magic, while Takumi tries using decomposition magic. However, the elder treant regenerates instantly. Following Sophia's advice, Takumi adds fire magic to his sword. She creates an opening, allowing him to strike the treant's core with the flaming blade. This finally destroys the monster. After successfully gathering sufficient treant wood, the party continues their journey and arrives safely in the mining town of Horas the next day. They go to the local Adventurers Guild branch and take on a quest to exterminate iron moles. This gives them access to the mine. Inside, they quickly locate rich deposits of mithril and adamantite. Their mining is suddenly interrupted when iron moles burst out of the ground. Takumi quickly figures out that these underground creatures are weak to light. He uses light magic to blind them, allowing Sophia to defeat them effortlessly. Maria feels left out again and compares herself to a mole in a negative way. After clearing the mine and securing a large haul of valuable ores with Takumi's item box, the party finishes their escort mission and safely returns to Bolton. Once back, Takumi visits Dagambo's workshop. There, the skilled blacksmith teaches him the challenging steps of creating alloys from mithril and adamantite and how to forge items using them. Takumi practices for several days and eventually masters these techniques. He then focuses on making the promised upgraded armor sets. For Sophia, he creates the light armor of the Tempest, imbued with wind and water elements. For Maria, the light armor of the Blazing Earth, imbued with fire and earth elements. For himself, the light armor of the Thunderclap, with wind and lightning elements and an extra large agility enhancement. All the armor sets are masterpieces. They have many enchantments, like adjusting size automatically, controlling temperature, reducing weight, and repairing themselves. These features are powered by magical crystals that Takumi made by filling magic stones with extra mana. Sophia and Maria are stunned by the beauty and power of their new gear. Takumi tests his armor's agility boost but trips and falls. This shows he needs more practice. He then gives Sophia and Maria their new adamantite spears. Sophia's spear, Tempest, uses wind power. Maria's spear, Explode, uses firepower. Both are very special weapons called the National Treasure class. Sophia is deeply grateful and feels safer with her new spear. She reaffirms her promise to protect Takumi and sincerely asks him to craft a strong shield so she can do her job even better. Takumi agrees, feeling touched but reminding her to take care of her own safety too. In the Holy Empire of Sidonia, all the heroes are wearing armor suits. They are prepared to travel to the kingdom of Samandor. The king of the Sidonia Empire gives them his blessings and best wishes. In Barcula Kingdom, an ambassador of the Holy Empire of Sidonia came and met with Lobos Barcula, who is king of Barcula Kingdom. News about Takumi Iruma's magical purifying toilets reached Sidonia. The Church of Divine Light in Sidonia is angry about this. The church claims exclusive rights to light magic, including purification, branding its use in toilets as blasphemous. They demand that the Kingdom of Barcula give them the patent for the purification magic circle. Even more alarming, they also want Takumi, the inventor himself. The Pope threatens to withdraw all Church of Divine Light priests from Barcula if these demands aren't met. The king strongly refuses Sidonia's demands. He says Barcula will not be intimidated. If Sidonia wishes, they can recall their priests. Later, Papek explains the political and religious landscape to Takumi. He also says that Barcula supports freedom of religion. Many people there follow the ancient Church of Creation. This church worships the goddess Nolan. She is the same goddess who brought Takumi to this world. The Church of Creation provides affordable healing magic, making it popular among the people, unlike the costly services of the Sidonia-backed Church of Divine Light, which worships a god named Anat. Papek makes a formal request. The king of Barkula is impressed by Takumi's toilet and refrigerator samples. These were shared through Marquise Godwin. The king wants to meet Takumi in person at the royal capital. Although Papek says Takumi can say no, Takumi feels he should accept. He knows the king can protect him from Sidonia's interference. Sophia and Maria are excited about the prospect of visiting the capital for the first time, and Takumi confirms they will accompany him. Preparations start for the week-long trip to Bacalados. Maria happily takes charge of organizing the food supplies. Takumi decides to make new cloaks for Sophia and Maria. He uses dark element magic stones that he got from Papek. He plans to enchant the cloaks with block perception, a skill that conceals the wearer's presence, which would be useful both in combat and for avoiding unwanted attention in cities. Maria and Sophia tease Takumi. They say his talents and looks might be why he needs concealment. Sophia blushes at Maria's words. Maria hints that Sophia admires their master. Takumi visits the church and prays to Lady Nolan. He asks about Anat, the god of the Church of Divine Light. Nolan confirms she is the only true goddess and cryptically states Takumi will learn about Anat's identity in due time. Takumi then questions if Sidonia's increasing interference is a result of her blessing weakening, as she previously warned. Nolan clarifies that Sidonia's involvement is a separate, larger issue stemming directly from their actions that led to his accidental summoning. She then shares a surprising fact. She changed time when she sent him to Midgard. She placed him 1 year before the heroes were summoned by Sidonia. In Takumi's current timeline, the heroes haven't arrived yet. Before Takumi can understand what happened, Nolan disappears. She reminds him to bring sweets next time. Takumi feels she avoided fully explaining her motives, but shelves the confusing timeline issue for now. Back at the mansion, Takumi makes presents concealing cloaks. He uses cloth made from mithril and special silk from maple. Sophia and Maria are pleased with the beautiful and functional cloaks. So Takumi then begins constructing a custom carriage using high-quality Trant wood, deciding it's better than borrowing one for future trips. The only missing piece is a suitable creature to pull it, as he currently lacks a monster horse. Maria explains why Bolton is called the Town of Adventurers. The wilderness around the town has many dangerous monsters. This includes the Forest of Death. But it is also home to rare and powerful creatures. These include unicorns, griffins, and the prized drake horses. Curious, Takumi asks about drake horses. Sophia explains they resemble ordinary horses, but possess a rhino-like horn and dragon-like scales, granting them superior speed, stamina, and toughness compared to regular monster horses. Hearing this, Takumi decides their next short expedition before the capital trip will be to the Forest of Death to try and find and tame a drake horse for their new carriage. Maple is especially excited by the idea of finding another companion like herself. The party ventures into the forest, their new cloaks proving effective as a bushwolf passes them completely unaware. Sophia suggests fighting without the cloak sometimes for training, but they stay focused on their goal. They find a large, dead tree ant. It's perfect for getting wood for the carriage. Takumi and Sophia start cutting the wood. Maple, excited to find a drake horse, rushes deeper into the woods. Maple follows signs of a recent battle and discovers a severely injured, unconscious drake horse, surrounded by defeated tree monsters. She cautiously approaches, introducing herself and trying to reassure the frightened creature that her master can heal it. The drake horse stays cautious. Maple senses more monsters coming. She tries to contact Takumi through their mana link, but he is too far away. He is busy gathering wood from the tree ant and doesn't hear her. Feeling scared and alone, Maple acts quickly. She protects herself and the injured drake horse by wrapping them in a thick, multi-layered cocoon of thread. Eventually, Takumi notices the drastically weakened mana connection to Maple and realizes something is wrong. Following the faint trail left by the link, he, Sophia, and Maria find the dense cocoon. Takumi finally reaches Maple. He apologizes over and over for not hearing her calls. He explains that the thick thread she wove is so dense it blocked their mana communication. Still, he praises Maple for her bravery in protecting the unconscious drake horse. Takumi uses his appraisal skill to assess the drake horse's condition, discovering severe injuries that demand immediate attention. Maple, visibly distraught, begs him to save the creature. Though Takumi attempts healing magic, the drake horse, still unconscious, reacts instinctively, its deep-seated wariness repelling his spells. Despite his efforts, the magic fails to take effect, leaving the situation unresolved. Takumi plans to place the drake horse into his pocket dimension. Sophia gives a serious warning. She says putting an untamed drake horse into Takumi's pocket dimension is very dangerous. It will put a huge constant strain on his mana and body. This is because the drake horse is an advanced monster, and there's no formal familiar pact. Despite the risk, with other monsters closing in, Takumi places the drake horse into the dimension, instructing Maple to stay inside with it it and try to calm it. The act immediately drains Takumi, causing him to stagger, though he tries to brush it off by drinking a potion. Back safely at the mansion, Takumi collapses into unconsciousness, the strain of maintaining the pocket dimension with the untamed Drake horse proving too much. 12 hours pass, and he doesn't wake. Sophia explains the serious situation. Takumi is losing mana constantly to keep the dimension going. If the link isn't broken, or the horse isn't tamed, Takumi could grow too weak and die. Maple cannot leave the dimension unless Takumi summons her, or the horse calms down enough for her to exit safely. Sophia devises a desperate plan. Using her magic, she follows Takumi's mana link into the pocket dimension to communicate with Maple. They make a plan. Maple will create a temporary enclosure out of thread in the mansion's garden. The structure, similar to a cocoon, might help calm the Drake horse when it is released. While Maple prepares the enclosure, Maria bravely volunteers to rush to Papek's company to buy specialized medicinal herbs for monsters, insisting Sophia stay by Takumi's side. Sophia takes care of the unconscious Takumi. Maple and Maria speak to him through the mana link. They say encouraging words and urge him to wake up. Hearing their voices and feeling their care, Takumi slowly wakes up. He is very grateful for their efforts. He immediately goes to the garden enclosure, where Maple has managed to bring the still weak Drake horse. Maple explains she has administered some basic treatment she learned and has been reassuring the horse about Takumi. Takumi walks up gently and offers his friendship. A system prompt asks, "Tame Drake horse?" He accepts and successfully forms a taming bond. Now able to bypass the horse's defenses, Takumi uses high heal. The Drake horse's health is fully restored. With the crisis resolved, the party celebrates their new companion. Maple suggests naming the Drake horse after a leaf, like her own name. Takumi chooses Camellia after the evergreen tree with beautiful flowers. Maple happily tells Camellia how Takumi saved her when she was hurt and alone. She expresses her joy at being able to help someone else in the same way. Now the story shifts to the Palom slave trading company in the royal capital. It is a place where people buy and sell destinies. There, a young beastman girl named Reva stands nervously. She has magical talent, which makes her unique, but the trader tells her that he needs someone useful right away. Desperate to prove herself, Reva tries to convince him. She promises to study harder, to hone her skills, to become the asset he desires. But her words fall on deaf ears. The trader rejects her outright, leaving her no choice but to walk away, her heart heavy with sadness and disappointment. Her caretaker, Burton, tries to comfort her, saying that someday the right master will come. But Reva has been waiting for years. She remembers leaving her family behind, promising to send them money. Now she feels hopeless. Despite her efforts, she struggles to find someone willing to take her in. Takumi and his companions, Sophia and Maria, gather to discuss their plans. Takumi has been putting all his energy into getting ready for the trip to the capital. He builds a new carriage and carefully checks every detail. But it's not just any carriage. Takumi has turned it into an entire house on wheels, complete with everything they might need for the road ahead. And to him, it's perfectly normal. Sophia and Maria are worried about him because he hasn't been resting enough. They try to convince him to take a break, urging him to slow down before he burns out. But Takumi, ever the perfectionist, insists he's fine. For him, this isn't just about preparation, it's about dedication. Next, whispers of a mysterious creature spotted on the outskirts of the city begin to spread quickly, like wildfire. The moment it is mentioned, people feel both curious and uneasy. What is this strange creature? No one knows for certain, and this mystery only makes the tension grow stronger. Meanwhile, Takumi pays a visit to the guild, this time to register his newest companion, Camellia, the Drake horse he tamed in the forest. And just like when he tamed the killer spider, Camellia surprises everyone around her. This moment adds even more mystery to Takumi's story, and it doesn't go unnoticed. With every new achievement, his reputation grows. Whether it's taming dangerous creatures or making the impossible possible, Takumi is showing everyone that he's a person worth paying attention to. Takumi talks to a slave trader about finding a helper for his alchemy work. Unfortunately, there is no suitable candidate at the moment. The trader offers to contact others in different towns. Sophia and Maria shop for food, discussing Takumi's workload. They notice Sophia has softened since working with Takumi. Maria jokes about helping with cooking, but Sophia insists she's fine. They worry about Takumi's health. They decide to focus on supporting him through food and housework. Takumi finishes his new carriage. It is not just a simple wagon. It has a kitchen, dining room, living room, and even a bath. His companions are amazed. The carriage is stable and does not shake, even at high speeds. Excitedly, they took it for a test drive. Maria suggests adding hidden weapons, like blades that can shoot out from the sides. Takumi laughs off the idea, at least for now, but you can tell he's already considering it. They prepare for their journey to meet the king. Lord Godwin, impressed by Takumi's skills, wants to introduce him properly. Along the way, he offers Takumi a fortune, 100 platinum coins to build another carriage. Takumi is shocked but considers the offer. The group arrives at Bakilatos safely. They had no trouble with monsters because Sophia, Maria, and the pets protected them easily. Lord Godwin wants to show Takumi's talents to the king by gifting him a carriage. They have 5 days until their meeting with the king. Takumi decides to build the carriage immediately instead of waiting until they return to Bolton. Takumi needs help with his alchemy work. Sophia and Maria convince him to get an assistant. They worry about his health since he works too hard. Takumi agrees but insists the assistant must be a woman. They head to the Palom slave trading company to find someone suitable. The trader introduces Takumi to a potential candidate. Takumi meets Reva. She is nervous but introduces herself. She has been studying magic on her own, including alchemy. Takumi is surprised and interested. Reva fears rejection again, but Sophia speaks up. She tells Takumi that Reva has already learned a lot. The trader hands Takumi a book Reva was studying, an old alchemy guide. Takumi realizes that Reva has real potential. He sees her determination and decides to take her in. Reva is overwhelmed with emotion. She has finally found a master who believes in her. Reva officially becomes Takumi's assistant. She promises to work hard, and Takumi welcomes her. Sophia, Maria, and Maple greet her warmly. Maple introduces Camellia, the Drake horse. Everyone laughs when Maple speaks in a playful way, and Takumi finds the group dynamics cute. They prepare to leave for the inn. Tensions are rising in the Holy Empire of Sidonia. The leaders are really frustrated with the Kingdom of Barkula for not listening to them. Instead of attacking directly, they came up with a sneaky plan. They are spreading stories that someone is disrespecting the Church of Divine Light. This is a risky situation, but it hints at what might happen next. They don't fight directly. Instead, they spread lies about Barkula disrespecting their church. They want people to hate Takumi and his friends. But Takumi has support. In the royal capital of Bakilatos, Takumi Irma is busy at work in a temporary workshop. He is synthesizing adamantite alloy for the king's new carriage. Nearby, Reva, his recently hired assistant, and a young beastman girl, watches with wide-eyed fascination. Takumi reassures her. He says that even though the task is hard, she already has the most important quality for an alchemist: true excitement and curiosity about creating things. He encourages her, promising she will soon help with simpler tasks. Reva beams with joy at his words. The day for Takumi to meet the king has come. As Takumi, Marquise Godwin, and the party wait outside the castle with the magnificent carriage Takumi built as a gift, they are surprised by the king himself, Lobos Barkula, approaching them informally. The king is immediately impressed, hearing Takumi personally constructed the carriage. Dispensing with formal protocols, King Lobos expresses his sincere gratitude to Takumi for inventing the magical toilets and refrigerators, which have significantly improved sanitation and quality of life in the capital. He explains that while Takumi deserves grand public recognition and rewards, they must keep his contributions quiet to avoid provoking the Holy Empire of Sidonia. The king assures Takumi of his kingdom's protection and keeps the meeting entirely off the official record, ensuring the castle staff maintains secrecy. After successfully completing the meeting and delivering the carriage, the party heads back to Bolton. With the substantial reward money from the king, Takumi officially purchases the large mansion they had been renting, making it their permanent home. Feeling responsible for his companions, Takumi attempts to establish formal wages for Sophia and Maria. However, both politely refuse, stating the generous allowance Takumi already provides for food and essentials is more than enough. Sophia, displaying deep loyalty, declares she intends to stay with Takumi for the rest of his life, and even guard his grave afterward, wishing only to be buried beside him eventually. Maria agrees and says she has chosen to live alongside Takumi. Meanwhile, trouble is starting in the Holy Empire of Sidonia. Officials are looking at one of Takumi's magical toilets. They got it secretly from Bakilatos. They declare the device heretical and an insult to their god, Anat. High-ranking leaders complain about the situation. It is said that even the Pope is very unhappy. The Church of Divine Light is feeling more and more that they need to take strong action against the source of this evil in Bolton. The fanatical Divine Light Squadron is especially eager to attack. They seem ready to strike at Takumi soon, using Anat's will as an excuse for their actions. Back in Bolton, Reva decides she wants to contribute more actively, and asks Takumi's permission to register as an adventurer. Her goal isn't just combat, but to raise her stats and mana pool to become a more effective assistant in alchemy and crafting. Takumi agrees, seeing the benefits. At the Adventurers Guild, Hans takes care of Reva's registration, starting her at rank H. He also helps her set up a way to send part of her future earnings to her family. This is a service the guild often provides. With Reva now officially part of the team, Hans brings up a pressing issue. The party needs a name. He points out that with Takumi, Sophia, Maria, and Maple all now at rank D, they can't remain nameless indefinitely. Takumi struggles with this, as he never intended to be a traditional adventurer. He finds it hard to encapsulate their diverse group. Guildmaster Barak overhears and decides Takumi needs motivation through intense physical training. He starts ruthlessly sparring with Takumi, demanding a party name between throws and blows. Takumi's initial suggestions, "We're adventurers," "Father of toilets," "The toilet lid," are met with painful rejections. Maria tries to help by suggesting very long names or more toilet jokes, but this only leads to her usual self-deprecating breakdown. Sophia becomes furious when she sees Takumi getting hurt and almost attacks Barak, but Takumi stops her, explaining that the tough training, though painful, is actually working. It has improved several of his combat and evasion skills. Still, they can't think of a good name for their party. A quick flash forward shows us Sidonia, 10 months later in Takumi's timeline. The summoned heroes Akira, Yamato, and Akane continue their training. Akira displays arrogance and dismissiveness towards Akane. Later, Akane thinks deeply about the Church of Divine Light's belief that humans are superior to other races, like beastmen and elves. She contrasts this with the teachings of the Church of Creation, which worships Nolen, which preaches equality. She finds herself questioning the true purpose behind Sidonia summoning them, and what world peace truly means in their context. Back in the present in Bolton, Takumi gives Reva important tools for her adventuring and alchemy goals. He gives her a spell activation ring and a high-quality staff. The staff is made from elder treant wood and reinforced with mithril alloy. He also gives Maple specially made claw-like weapons called cat's claws. These were designed for her arachne form so they won't get in the way of her thread manipulation. Takumi proudly mentions that Reva helped create them. Maple is overjoyed. However, Takumi's training challenge is not yet finished. Barak continues to pressure him for a name, while Sophia, having shifted from anger to analysis, starts coaching Takumi on how to better defend against the Guildmaster's precise attacks. Hans interrupts with a well-timed offer, an escort quest request from the Papek Company to the nearby town of Kilbus. Since Lion's Fang is away on another mission, Takumi's party is the best available option. It's a relatively short 4-day round trip using their fast carriage. Takumi accepts, seeing it as good practice and a way to earn rank points. Barak gives him a deadline, decide on a party name by the time they return. The party begins their journey, escorting Thomas, an employee of Papek's company. The journey is peaceful. A small fight between goblins and bush wolves is quickly stopped by a single fast charge from Camellia. Thomas mentions that Kilbus is known for dairy products, including milk and cheese, which are rare in Bolton. This excites Takumi immensely. Upon arriving in Kilbus, Maria uses the fresh milk to cook a delicious cream stew, evoking nostalgic feelings in Takumi. They eagerly purchase quantities of milk and cheese at the night market. Reva wistfully remarks she wishes her family could taste the cheese. The experience makes Takumi reflect on his old life in Japan and the impossibility of returning, solidifying his commitment to his new life in Midgard. He feels a bit disappointed to learn that rice, a staple food from his old world, is mainly found in the kingdom of Samandor. However, it is sometimes sold in the Bacalados market. Later that evening, Takumi asks Sophia if she ever misses her elven homeland or feels nostalgic. Sophia delivers a heartfelt response. She explains that after 50 years under a debilitating curse, being freed by Takumi felt like receiving wings. Her past seems dull compared to the bright present and exciting future she now shares with Takumi and their companions. She is completely focused on moving forward together. Inspired by her words and thinking about his own journey, Takumi realizes that they all have been given wings. These wings come from the challenges they've faced and the support they've given each other. Ultimately, these wings were given by the goddess who brought him here. He suggests Wings of Nolan as their party name. Everyone loves the idea because it represents their shared journey of finding new purpose and freedom. Sophia, Maria, Maple, and even Camellia happily agree. After finishing their mission and picking a name for their group, the Wings of Nolan return to Bolton 2 nights later. But as soon as they enter their mansion, a cloud of paralysis poison mist surrounds them. Takumi and Maple aren't affected much because of their strong resistance skills, though Takumi feels a bit numb. But Sophia, Maria, and Reva are immediately frozen and can't move. Maple, who had just gone outside for a moment to take care of Camellia, senses something is wrong. She comes back quickly through her pocket dimension and sees the attack happening. She reacts right away, using her super strong threads to trap and stop the enemies hiding in the mansion. Then Takumi uses his cure magic to heal his friends and remove the paralysis. Sophia feels really upset and blames herself for the break-in. But Takumi tells her it's not her fault. He explains that he and Maple were able to resist the poison because of their special skills. Maple then says she also caught more enemies who were hiding near the stable outside. As they check the attackers, Sophia notices that they were carrying good gear and seemed very prepared. She realizes this wasn't a random attack, it was carefully planned. Takumi agrees. He knows this is serious and says they need to tell someone right away. He sends Sophia to get Guildmaster Barak from the Adventurers Guild. Meanwhile, he gets ready to inform Lord Godwin. Both of them feel that this attack wasn't just a simple robbery, it's a big warning. And they believe it was likely planned by powerful people inside the Holy Empire of Sidonia. Now, Takumi sits with important people to discuss what happened. Lord Godwin, the city's leader, is there. Guildmaster Barak from the Adventurers Guild is also present. They learn who attacked them. The attackers were from the Divine Light Squadron. This group is known for being very extreme. They follow the Church of Divine Light's teachings strictly. They punish anyone they think goes against the church. The group is even seen as fanatical by other groups. Lord Godwin explains that this church is tied to the Holy Empire of Sidonia. This news shocks Takumi. He realizes the attackers did not want to steal things. They came to kill him from the very start. Lord Godwin explains the likely reason for the attack. It was Takumi's clever invention, the purification magic device. This device, used in the toilets Takumi created, cleans waste automatically using light magic. Before Takumi's invention, the city sewers needed regular cleaning. Priests had to use light magic to purify the settling tanks. Priests from 2 churches shared this job. The Church of Creation did the work for free, relying on donations. But the Church of Divine Light charged a lot of money. They sent priests all the way from Sidonia for this job. Takumi's invention makes their paid service unnecessary. His device cleans things constantly without needing priests. He also says that Takumi's invention took away the Church of Divine Light's main income source in Bolton. This made them very angry and led to the attack. Takumi understands the danger he is in now. Takumi feels worried. He thinks maybe he should leave Bolton. He suggests hiding in another country for safety. But Lord Godwin advises against this idea. He assures Takumi that Bolton is the safest place for him right now. Their nation, unlike Sidonia, has many followers of the Church of Creation. Lord Godwin promises the city's full support and protection. He plans to increase patrols by the knights and the city guard. They will also watch closely who enters and leaves Bolton. This increased security within the city makes everyone feel a bit better. Guildmaster Barak added his support. He said the guild would also help protect Takumi. But he also insisted Takumi keep working as an adventurer. Takumi is surprised by Barak's comment. He planned to stop doing adventure quests for a while because of the danger. Barak quickly dismisses this plan. He reminds Takumi that his adventure party is now one of the top 5 in Bolton. Losing Takumi's party would be bad for the Adventurers Guild. Sophia insists she will protect Takumi. She even promises to risk his own life if needed. Barak also reminds Takumi that he is personally training him. Barak vows to teach Takumi the skills needed to fight off any attackers, no matter how many come. Lord Godwin seems satisfied with this solution. Takumi seems less sure, but has little choice. He must continue his adventurer duties despite the threat. Later, Takumi met Hans at the Adventurers Guild. They talked about the party's new name, Wings of Nolan. Takumi worried it sounded too grand, using a goddess's name. But Hans liked it. Hans then shared more bad news. Rumors about the attack had already spread through Bolton. People were saying there was a large bounty on Takumi's head. Hans warned him to be very careful. Some adventurers might ignore guild rules. They might accept bad quests for money. They could attack Takumi to get the bounty. This meant Takumi and his friends faced even more danger. Takumi felt terrible. He apologized to Sophia, Maria, and Reva. He felt guilty for putting them at risk, but Maria quickly stopped him. She told him not to bow his head to them. Sophia agreed. She said they had let their guard down during the attack, but it would not happen again. She was ready to fight. Maple, Takumi's spider companion, popped up. She added her support too. Everyone was ready to protect Takumi. Takumi knew they needed stronger defenses. Depending on knights all the time was not a solution. He decided to make a special magical device. This device would put a strong magic barrier around the mansion. The barrier would keep out anyone not registered. Only Takumi and his friends could enter freely. Reva, his alchemy assistant, eagerly offered to help build it. Even with the barrier, they were unsafe outside the mansion. They needed more help during quests. Sophia suggested they find another party member. They needed someone strong, like an attacker or a tank. A tank is someone who can take hits and protect others. Barak and Hans had said the same thing. Maria quickly added, "No men, please." Takumi agreed. But finding the right person was hard. Asking a stranger to join and trust them quickly was difficult. Sophia thought of Mulan's slave trading company. Getting someone bound by a magic contract might be safest. A contract ensures loyalty and secrecy. Takumi felt unsure about slaves again, but Maria spoke up warmly. She told Takumi she would trust him even without a contract. Sophia surprisingly agreed. She stated she would not risk her life for someone she did not trust. Her words showed her deep loyalty to Takumi. Takumi, Reva, and Sophia started working on the barrier device in the workshop. Sophia asked to learn more about magical devices. She wanted to be more helpful in the future. Takumi agreed and gave her a task. She carefully etched a magic circle onto metal sheets. Outside, Maple was training Camellia, the Drake horse. They practiced fighting a small golem doll. Golems are creatures made from stone or metal, brought to life by magic. Takumi watched them. He remembered that golems were part of alchemy. Making a golem could solve their need for a tank. But creating a golem's control core was very complex. It needed high-level mana manipulation skills. Takumi's skill was not high enough yet. Also, Sophia mentioned that alchemy-made golems were usually simple. They might not be smart enough to guard the mansion well. Just as they finished the barrier device, Takumi felt a change. His mana manipulation skill reached its maximum level. He gained a new, higher skill, spell control. Sophia cheered. She believed completing the barrier device helped him level up. With spell control, Takumi thought he might finally be able to create a golem's control core. Meanwhile, in the Holy Empire of Sidonia, leaders received bad news. Their captured Divine Light Squadron members did not kill themselves. They were likely forced into magic contracts. This meant Sidonia's involvement in the attack was probably discovered. This caused trouble for their plans. One leader suggested they pause dealing with Barkula for now. They should focus on their main plan, summoning heroes from another world. They had found a magic circle in old ruins. They could activate it soon. They needed about 2 or 3 more months to gather enough magic power. Back in Bolton, Takumi tried making a golem core. He worked on a magic stone but found it very hard. The magic circle needed multiple layers. It was very complex. Maple asked why he wanted a golem so badly. Takumi explained it would make him feel safer having one guard the mansion. Maple pointed out he already had her: Camellia, Sophia, Maria, and Reva. Takumi agreed but worried about sneak attacks like before. He realized he needed to raise his spell control skill level more. Then Maple had a clever idea. She asked, "Could you tame a golem?" Takumi was surprised. He hadn't thought of that. Maybe he could tame a wild golem instead of making one. He asked Hans about wild golems. Hans told him stone golems sometimes appeared west of the Forest of Death. Iron golems could be found in an old dungeon near the mining city of Horus. Takumi got excited about dungeons. He had never been in one. He wanted to face an iron golem right away. But Sophia warned him it was too reckless. Entering a dungeon without a proper tank was dangerous. They decided to look for a stone golem first. The party traveled to the rocky plains near the Forest of Death. Soon, they found one. It was huge, over 3 meters tall. Sophia identified it as a powerful Guardian-class golem, likely from ancient ruins. She explained how to defeat it. Aim for the magic stone in its chest or its control core. Destroying the core would kill the golem. But Takumi wanted to tame it, not kill it. The golem looked scary. Its strange eyes might be weapons or sensors. Sophia told them to stay away, but Takumi didn't agree. If it was dangerous, it could be a strong ally. He felt a small connection to the golem and didn't sense any anger from it. He saw the golem react to his special blessing from Lady Nolan. Maybe it guarded ruins tied to the goddess? Takumi stepped forward and used his tame skill. It worked. The big stone golem became his friend. Maple was thrilled. She asked for its name. Takumi thought for a moment. He named it Titan, after a giant from myths in his old world. Takumi checked Titan's status. It was incredibly strong and had many powerful skills. Titan then communicated something. It wanted a body that was easier to move around in. Takumi agreed, but knew they couldn't walk into Bolton with a giant golem. He decided to use his pocket dimension to store Titan temporarily. As Titan entered the dimension, its huge stone body crumbled. A much smaller, cuter stone figure appeared. Maple immediately asked Takumi to make Titan able to talk. A few months later in Sidonia's timeline, the summoned heroes were shown again. Akira and Yamato acted badly. They bullied knights and flirted inappropriately with women. Akane looked disgusted by their behavior. Back in Takumi's present, he excitedly designed a new body for Titan. He planned to use strong adamantite and mithril metals. He even included a cool feature, the ability to combine with a larger body. But before starting the project, Takumi had something important to do. He gathered Sophia, Maria, and Reva. He told them he planned to end their slave contracts. He explained his reasoning. People were after his life. Staying with him put them all in danger. He wanted them to be safe. He offered them severance pay. He would give them enough money to live comfortably. He would also send a large sum to Reva's family. He thought this was the best decision for everyone. He had tamed Titan now. Titan could help protect him. Maple and Camellia would stay as his pets. But he wanted Sophia, Maria, and Reva to find safe lives elsewhere. His companions were shocked and hurt. Maria confronted him tearfully. "Why do you always prioritize us over yourself?" she cried. She reminded him of their party name, the Wings of Nolan. He had said they were all each other's wings. If he lost his wings, he couldn't fly. Reva pleaded that she wanted to keep learning from him. Sophia stated firmly that she could not agree to leave. She told Takumi that asking them to leave, even out of concern, was the cruelest thing he could say. They had all chosen to be with him. They wanted to face the danger together. Takumi realized he had made a mistake. He hadn't understood their deep loyalty and feelings. He had pushed his own fears onto them. He apologized sincerely. He admitted he was still immature. He asked them humbly if they would be willing to stay with him. despite the danger. Sophia declared she was his bodyguard from the start. Danger meant she should stay closer. Her heart and body belonged to him, they would live or die together. Maria said her future was with him too. She had nowhere else to go and didn't want one. Reva promised to learn more and create new things alongside him. Their bonds were stronger than any contract. The wings of Nolan would face the future together. Takumi felt immense relief. He turned his energy back to Titan. He built Titan's new, smaller body using the best materials. The new Titan could talk. It thanked Takumi, calling him master. Takumi then revealed a large shed he had built. Inside was a giant golem body. He instructed Titan to combine with it. The small Titan flew into the giant body. Alchemy in. Takumi shouted. The result was the great Titan. It was huge and powerful, equipped with weapons like rocket punch and magic jet thrusters. Takumi was thrilled. He felt this creation could even defeat a dragon. He excitedly suggested challenging a dungeon. From afar, Lady Nolan spoke with another being. They talked about the growing threat of Anat, the false god worshipped by Sidonia. Anat was gaining power from people's beliefs and was close to becoming an evil spirit. They also saw war coming because of Sidonia's hero summoning. Nolan repeated that she couldn't interfere directly. The other being asked if creating Takumi and giving him blessings was part of her plan. Nolan simply said, it's all up to Takumi now. The future of Midgard depended on the former office worker and his loyal companions, the Wings of Nolan. We see scenes of a deserted town near Bolton. 1 year ago, life was very sad for a woman named Mni. The nobles had mismanaged her village. The village fell apart, and everyone had to leave. Mni lost trust in nobles. They made life hard for the people, and didn't help her husband when he got sick. He died because they ignored him. Mni felt lost and alone. Now, in the present, many refugees need homes. Count Rockford kindly took in over 1,000 people. These were the people from Mini's old village. But they needed a real place to live. Marquise Godwin Bolton had an idea. There was land south of Bolton. But this land was wild and dangerous. Many monsters lived there. Developing it would be very hard. Marquise Godwin thought only one person could do it. Takumi Irma. Before getting this big job, Takumi wanted an adventure. His party, the Wings of Nolan, decided to explore a tough dungeon. It was called the Forest of the Beast King. The dungeon looked like a huge forest underground. Monsters inside were much stronger than outside, but the Wings of Nolan worked well together. Maple, the spider, sensed monsters early. Titan, the golem, took all the hits like a strong shield. Sophia, Maria, and Takumi attacked. They beat many strong monsters and found treasure. They reached the last floor. Takumi stepped on a hidden switch. A giant metal ball rolled towards them. It was a trap. Takumi yelled, "Everyone, retreat." They all ran away safely. Even Titan retreated because Takumi ordered it. Master's orders were most important to Titan. They found themselves in a new passage. Suddenly, the final boss appeared. It was a huge earth dragon, an S-rank monster. It was very powerful. Takumi wished he had brought the great Titan, but little Titan bravely faced the dragon. The party fought hard. Maple and Titan held the dragon's tail steady. Sophia, Maria, and Reva attacked with magic. Takumi used a wind cutter. Titan fired its Light of Judgment beam. They hurt the dragon, but it was not dead yet. It attacked again. Titan protected Takumi. Sophia shouted the dragon's weak spot was its side. Takumi jumped on Camellia, his Drake horse. They charged forward fast. Takumi hit the dragon's weak spot. They defeated the Earth Dragon. Everyone cheered. They conquered the dungeon. Takumi looked at the dragon parts. He thought about making new things. Sophia teased him for always thinking like a producer. Soon after, Marquise Godwin called Takumi. He asked Takumi about the dangerous southern land. Takumi knew it had many monsters, but it also had rare ores like adamantite and mithril. Marquise Godwin asked Takumi to build a new pioneer village there. Takumi was surprised. Why him? The Marquise knew Takumi had helped Board Village before. He believed Takumi could build a safe place quickly. Sophia worried about the danger to Takumi. People were still after him, but Marquise Godwin explained his reason. He needed a home for the refugees, the people who lost their village a year ago. He wanted to help them fast. Takumi understood. He remembered when he first came to this world. He had no home. The people of Board Village welcomed him kindly. He wanted to help others like he was helped. Takumi accepted the big job. The Wings of Nolan went to the southern frontier alone. They did not need knights guarding them. Takumi used his amazing earth magic. In just 10 days, he built incredible defenses. He made strong walls around the village area. He dug deep moats outside the walls. He even built a fortress inside for leaders and knights. He made homes for the people. He set up good sewage systems using magic. Sophia went back to Bolton. She told Marquise Godwin the village was ready. The refugees traveled to their new home. They worried on the way. They thought they were being sent to die near monsters. They expected another bad noble to rule them. When they arrived, they were shocked. They saw strong walls and a fortress. It looked very safe. Takumi welcomed them warmly. He was working on farmland. The leader of the knights could not believe it. Takumi built a fortress, not just a village, so fast. Takumi said it was not finished yet. He used magic to help. The refugees were happy they could live here safely. Sophia met Ni again. She remembered Mini was alone. Sophia thought Mini could work for Takumi. She could help cook and clean. Sophia introduced Mini to Takumi. Takumi kindly offered Mini the job. He promised to pay her fairly. But Mini remembered the bad nobles. She saw Takumi and thought he might be the same. She could not trust him yet. She sadly refused the job. Maria was upset, but Takumi understood. He told Mini the offer could wait. Mini felt bad. She thought she lashed out unfairly. She decided she could not stay. She tried to sneak out of the village. Just then, monsters attacked. Maple sensed them. Takumi acted quickly. He ordered the drawbridges raised. He told the knights to keep the villagers safe inside. Someone realized Mni was outside. Takumi rushed to find her. A bush wolf attacked Mni. Takumi jumped in front and saved her. He got a small cut from the monster's claws. Mni was safe. The party quickly defeated all the monsters. Titan and Maple were very strong. Takumi approached Mii to see how she was doing. She thanked him and expressed regret for his injuries. Takumi reassured her, saying he was just happy she was safe. He promised to protect the villagers and ensure they could live in peace. As Mini looked at Takumi, she realized he was truly kind and selfless. Nothing like the cruel nobles she had known. Her view changed and she shyly asked if the maid job he offered was still open. Takumi smiled and nodded. The whole party welcomed Mini warmly, making her feel like she belonged. News of the amazing new fortress town spread. Even the Holy Empire of Sidonia heard about it. They suspected Takumi was involved. They saw the new town as a challenge from the kingdom of Barkula. Empress Elizabeth said the time for their big plan is ready. Back in the new village, Takumi and his friends continued working. Ni happily brought them lunch. Suddenly, Titan sensed strange, bad mana nearby. Takumi remembered what Lady Nolan told him. She had sent him 1 year into the past. Exactly 1 year had passed since Takumi arrived in Midgard. He knew what the bad feeling meant. The heroes summoned by Sidonia were finally here. 3 heroes arrived in the Holy Empire of Sidonia. They came from Japan, like Takumi. Their names were Akira, Yamato, and Akane. They became strong rank A adventurers in just 3 months. Sidonia planned to show them to other countries. Empress Elizabeth told the heroes it is time. Akira and Yamato felt proud and ready. Akane seemed unsure, but agreed to go. Meanwhile, the village Takumi built grew quickly. Marquise Godwin named it Wedgefort. A good road connected it to Bolton. Merchants and soldiers used the road often. Villagers built homes and learned blacksmithing. Crops grew well. The village started to look like a real town. People there lived busy, happy lives. But Sophia noticed something strange. Monsters near Wedgefort were getting stronger. New kinds of monsters appeared, like bush lizards. Sophia thought a strange mana change caused this. This change happened about 3 months ago. Takumi knew Lady Nolan said the hero summoning caused a big mana change. The summoning likely affected the monsters. Guildmaster Barak called Takumi's party back to Bolton. He had a quest for them. Sophia told Takumi about rumors. People said heroes appeared in Sidonia 3 months ago. Takumi realized these must be the Japanese people. He worried about them. Sidonia used forbidden magic to summon them. Maria hoped the heroes were good people. She hoped they could fix Sidonia's bad ways. But Takumi knew Lady Nolan did not send them. Sidonia summoned them selfishly. Barak explained the hero's tour. They were visiting churches of divine light in other kingdoms. This was likely a trick. Sidonia probably wanted to pressure kingdoms that followed the Church of Creation. Barak gave Takumi's party, the Wings of Nolan, their quest. The Popek Company needed guards for a trip to the royal capital, Bakalatos. Takumi agreed. Mni, the new maid, felt lonely staying behind. Takumi agreed to take her. She registered as an adventurer the next day. Meanwhile, in the Empire of Sidonia, all 3 individuals were ready to begin their journey. They complained about the uncomfortable carriage ride and expressed their desire for elf slaves from Bakilatos, showing no concern for the rules. Akane, however, felt her special revelation skill guiding her. She believed that Bakilatos held the answer she was seeking. In Bakilatos, Takumi's party finished their quest. They all got promoted. Takumi and Sophia became rank A. Ni became rank D. At the Adventurers Guild, they met the heroes, actually. Those individuals who had been summoned from another world. Akira and Yamato were rude and pushed people. They saw Sophia and Reva. They demanded Takumi give the women to them. Takumi refused. Yamato attacked Takumi. Takumi easily destroyed Yamato's sword with his decomposition skill. He showed it was just a normal magic sword, not special. The heroes threatened Takumi and left angrily. Akane apologized for their bad behavior. Takumi introduced himself. Akane seemed to know the name Takumi. He tells Akane where he is living. Later, Takumi's group discussed the heroes. They agreed Akira and Yamato were terrible, but Akane seemed like a good person. That night, Akane escaped with Lulu. Sidonian agents chased them. Sophia and Maple secretly helped them. They brought Akane and Lulu safely to Takumi's hotel room. Akane asked Takumi if he was connected to the Japanese people who were summoned before. Takumi decided to tell the truth. He revealed he was Japanese. He explained Lady Nolan brought him here. The hero summoning spell accidentally pulled him into this world. He told them Sidonia Sidonia used forbidden magic. He also told them Nolan sent him 1 year into the past. His friends and Akane were shocked, but believed him. They talked about Sidonia's plans. They feared Sidonia might start a war using the heroes. Akane said Akira and Yamato changed after arriving in Sidonia. They became mean and arrogant. Takumi suspected Sidonia drugged their food. This might have brainwashed them. Akane always used purification magic on her food. The boys did not learn light magic well. Akane begged Takumi for help. She wanted to escape Sidonia. Lulu still wore a slave collar. Takumi hated slavery. He used his dispel magic to remove Lulu's collar. Lulu was free. She cried and wanted to stay with Akane. Akane asked Lulu to be her friend, not her slave. Takumi offered Akane and Lulu safety at his mansion in Bolton. On the journey back to Bolton, Maria and Nee cooked cream stew. It tasted like home to Akane. She cried with relief and happiness. She finally felt safe and relaxed. Back at the Bolton mansion, Takumi made a plan to help Akane and Lulu. He gathered Sophia, Maria, Reva, and Nee. He surprised them by saying he was ending their contracts. Maria got upset, asking if he had done this before. Maple explained that yes, he had, but Takumi stopped them and said this time was different. He didn't need contracts anymore because they shared a stronger bond now. He wanted them to be his partners, friends, and family. He used dispel magic to remove the contract marks from Sophia, Maria, and Reva. Mini felt a little left out since she never had a contract. Everyone happily agreed to stay with Takumi, united by friendship and trust. Takumi finished making 2 new swords. He made the Holy Sword Amaterasu for himself and the Sublime Sword Tsukuyomi for Sophia. These swords could absorb enemy mana to grow stronger. Suddenly, an urgent message came from the guild. All adventurers rank B and higher must gather immediately. There was an emergency at Wedgefort. A monster stampede was coming. Problems were starting to appear near Wedgefort. Takumi arrived at the Adventurers Guild in Bolton, where he met Heath from the Lion Fang party. A large group of monsters was heading toward Wedgefort, putting the small village in great danger. Captain Dorn, the knight leading Wedgefort, quickly asked Bolton for help. Guildmaster Barak explained the bad situation. Most strong adventure parties were away on other quests. Only 3 high-ranked parties were available. These were Heath's party, Lion Fang, Takumi's party, the Wings of Nolan, and another famous party, the Crimson Rose. Takumi was surprised to hear Crimson Rose was there. Their leader, a strong woman named Marilda, introduced her team. Baralai was their tank, the one who took damage. Mary was their mage who used magic. Paula was their healer. Linda was their scout who finds information. Marilda had heard good things about the Wings of Nolan. She recognized Sophia, Takumi's skilled elf companion. Sophia and Heath also knew each other from long ago. Riel, another member of Lion Fang, felt a bit ignored, as usual. Barak gave the orders. The 3 parties must hurry to Wedgefort. They needed to go ahead of Captain Dorn and his knights. They had to help defend the village immediately. Everyone agreed and quickly prepared to leave. Takumi decided to leave Akane and Lulu safe at the mansion. Akane was the hero girl who escaped Sidonia. Lulu was her former slave, now her friend. Takumi assigned Titan, his powerful golem, to guard them. On the quick journey to Wedgefort, Takumi talked with Sophia. He gave her a brand new sword he had just made, calling it the Holy Sword Amaterasu. He crafted it from rare orichalcum metal found in the dungeon. This sword was special. It was a sister sword to Takumi's own new blade, the Sublime Sword Tsukuyomi. Amaterasu dealt heavy physical damage, while Tsukuyomi hurt the enemy's mind, even with small cuts. Takumi explained that if they used both swords together in teamwork, they could be very effective. Sophia felt honored to receive such a powerful weapon and promised to use it well alongside Takumi. As dawn approached, they neared Wedgefort. They hoped the village's strong walls were holding back the monsters. But Maple, Takumi's spider companion, sensed terrible news. Winged monsters were attacking. These flying beasts soared right over the tall ramparts. The village was under direct attack from the sky. There was no time to waste. The adventurers rushed forward. Marilda's mage, Mary, cast powerful magic spells like Tornado. Heath used his strong Thor's hammer attack. Takumi also unleashed magic. Camellia, Takumi's dragon horse, charged bravely into the fight. They battled the flying monsters fiercely. They reached Wedgefort's gate. The guards saw Takumi and quickly lowered the drawbridge. Heath told Takumi that Lion Fang and Crimson Rose would fight monsters around the outside walls. Takumi's party should go inside and help protect the villagers. Takumi thanked them and rushed inside with his companions. Inside, they found Sophia, Maria, Reva, and Nee. They had bravely fought off the monsters that got inside. Takumi praised them for protecting the village so well. Maria said they trusted Takumi and his group would come. Takumi sent Reva and Nee to use their healing skills on injured people. He took Sophia, Maria, and Maple back outside. They needed to help Heath and Marilda's parties. Outside, they rejoined the fight. After a while, something strange happened. All the monsters suddenly stopped attacking. They retreated back into the forest together. This was very unusual. Monsters usually did not coordinate like an army. Sophia suspected her earlier theory was right. A smart leader monster must be controlling the horde. This leader likely evolved because of the strong mana change from Sidonia's hero summoning spell. This battle was going to be much harder than usual monster extermination. Meanwhile, the Holy Empire of Sidonia heard about the stampede. They were secretly happy. They hoped the monsters would destroy Wedgefort and weaken the kingdom of Barcula. Empress Elizabeth saw this as a chance. She suggested they attack Barcula's ally, the kingdom of Samandor. She wanted to use the heroes Akira and Yamato to attack Samandor first. This would stop Samandor from helping Barcula later. Sidonia plotted while Wedgefort fought for survival. Back in Wedgefort, the fighting paused. Everyone rested and prepared for the next attack. Takumi gave away all his healing potions to help the wounded soldiers and villagers. Sophia worried about him. He needed potions for himself too. Takumi said saving others was more important. He would just have to avoid getting hurt. Sophia felt deep admiration for Takumi's kindness. She swore again to protect him even if it cost her own life. Soon, Maple noticed the monsters coming back. The forest became active again. This time, there were even more monsters than before. It looked like the leader was sending all its forces for one big final attack. Takumi made a plan. First, everyone would use strong magic attacks. Then, Camellia would rush in. After that, everyone would fight close up. The three adventurer groups worked together. Mages used firestorms, tornadoes, and lightning. Warriors fought hard with weapons and claws. Maple suddenly cried out. She needed help protecting the children. A few monsters had somehow gotten near them. Mni and Reva bravely stood guard. Maple rushed to help them. The main battle raged outside. Lion Fang took the left side. Crimson Rose took the right. Takumi's party fought in the center. Sophia fought with amazing skill, using her new sword Amaterasu. She pushed forward too fast, eager to protect Takumi. Takumi called her back, worried for her safety. Suddenly, the ground shook. A gigantic wyvern, a huge flying lizard, burst from the forest. This had to be the leader. It was incredibly powerful. Takumi realized he should have brought the Great Titan. Sophia acted without thinking and flew toward the wyvern by herself. She wanted to draw its attention away from Takumi and the others. Takumi yelled for her to stop, but she ignored him. She bravely fought the massive wyvern. The wyvern was too strong. It badly injured Sophia. Just as the wyvern was about to finish her, Takumi arrived. Maria and the others also came to help. The other parties attacked the wyvern too. Takumi reached Sophia. He knew they needed to use their special swords together. He focused his remaining mana. Sophia focused too. He slashed with Tsukiyomi. She slashed with Amaterasu. Their combined attack, fueled by Takumi's mana, struck the wyvern leader. The powerful attack defeated the giant beast. With their leader gone, the remaining monsters panicked. They turned and fled back into the forest. The battle was won. Takumi rushed to Sophia's side. He used his heal magic. He gently scolded her for being so reckless. He told her he did not want her to throw her life away. He wanted her to live and be his partner, supporting each other. Sophia understood. Takumi, having used all his mana and potions, collapsed from exhaustion. Days later, after helping Wedgefort rebuild, the adventurers returned to Bolton. Takumi recovered. Akane and Lulu were now living safely in his mansion. They heard terrible news. The other two heroes, Akira and Yamato, had destroyed a village in Samandor, killing many people. Akane felt awful. She wished she could have stopped them. She promised herself not to run away next time. Sophia felt awkward around Takumi after the battle. She felt bad for worrying him. Takumi noticed she was quiet. The party threw a celebration feast. Takumi found Sophia outside. He told her he wasn't angry. He understood that she had acted to protect him. But he repeated that he wanted her to live and stay with him forever, as partners. Sophia smiled, feeling relieved and happy. She promised to always stay by his side. Just then, Akane interrupted their heartfelt moment, bringing them plates of roasted meat. Later, Takumi spoke with Lady Nolan again. He asked if she had planned for him to face Sidonia and the heroes. Nolan repeated that the future was in his hands. Takumi declared he would protect his precious friends, his new life in Midgard. He gave Nolan the sweet she loved. Nolan called Takumi the hope for Midgard and said he could become the greatest alchemist ever. This is the story up to episode 12. In the next episodes, we'll see Takumi take on the Sidonia Empire and face even bigger challenges. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. If you enjoyed the journey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more epic content. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't miss out on the next video. There's always more fun, surprises, and challenges ahead. Until next time, stay awesome and keep exploring.